happening live.
Unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Nashika Caesar.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
My intel suggests that what was used to tape the conversation was done by the current IGP. He sent some people to do it, and after which he went for it. So the tape, from my intel, is with the IGP, and he caused it to be leaked.
Issues get murkier as COP Alex Mensah, who is appearing before the Parliamentary Committee, makes a shocking claim about the Inspector General of Police, Dan Parry, saying he orchestrated the recording that was done in Daniel Bugri Nabo's office. Also coming up, National Cylinder Recirculation Program of the National Petroleum Authority kicks off today. We'll tell you how you can now buy LPG just as you buy a loaf of bread in the local grocery shop. And later on Eyewitness News, PRC slaps 1 CD extra charge on every consumer's bill so that the Ghana Water Company can treat water that has been damaged or destroyed by Galamsey. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more of this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
the Bank of Ghana gives the strongest indication that it will fix the country's current economic challenges and return the economy to fiscal stability.
That's in 50 minutes from the business desk of Citi FM and Citi TV. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations in Western Region, Premier 100.5, Sky Power 93.5, and Beach 105.5, all of them in Takrady. In Bono Region on Greener 95.9, in Sunyani, in Ahafo on Hames 106.5 FM in Gosu, in Ashanti on Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi, as well as Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In Volta Region on Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the Northern Region on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In Upper West on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In Upper East on Source 100.1 FM in Boko, and in the Northeast Region on Scarp 101.3 FM on the escarpment in Nakpanduri. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM. We are also on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are interactive on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Send tweets using the hashtag City Newsroom and tweet at Umaru Sanda or at City973. Let's start off from Parliament, where we have been since yesterday after the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating the leaked audio tape has continued its work today, and some more revelations coming up. Nashika has a first story.
Right, Sanda, COP George Mensah, one of the top police officers at the center of the alleged plot to kick out the current Inspector General of Police, George Akufu-Dampare, says the IGP orchestrated the recording of the leaked tape and has the original copy. COP Mensah made the claim when he appeared before the ad hoc parliamentary committee probing the issue today. Mr. Mensah says he believes the audio currently before the parliamentary committee is heavily doctored. When the committee members demanded the whereabouts of the supposed original copy of the audio, COP Mensah said they should get it from Dr. Dampare since he has the original copy. Here are excerpts of the hearing.
They have the leader of this nation, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. The IGP can talk to the President Akufo-Addo, can't he? And if there are issues for discussion, so that maybe the opposition might pipe down on a matter for reasons of security, can't the IGP call former President Mahama and say, hello? Or, what is wrong with that?
Chairman, you see, don't let us not,
please.
There is the context.
It doesn't
The context
mean anything.
matters. You see, the context defines, you know, the nature of what he put out there. The context.
Okay.
The context.
So
If it's having normal conversations,
how would we know?
no problem. But you see, there is a context. Here is a man who wants to replace an IGP. And one of the reasons is that he's constantly talking to the opposition leader, former president.
Yes.
That is not something that is too good for the ears of Buri Nabu. It means that when he uttered these words, right, there were certain motives. So when he says, oh, as a security couple, you know, there's nothing wrong if he says somebody talks to another. Yes, ordinarily there's nothing wrong. But the context within which these words were said is problematic. And I'm asking if he has any evidence. Yes, he says he has intel.
He said he won't share it. He said it.
I asked whether, but he hasn't answered the second bit of my question, whether he would want to do that in camera.
No, Mr. Chairman.
You wouldn't want to share it.
No, Mr.
So
Chairman.
we can now properly evaluate what way to attach. But if I had not done that, there would be gaps. There would be gaps. Exactly. But if I had not concluded on this note, on this one, how would you know? Fill in the gaps.
You have a final question.
Commissioner, do you have any regrets about the leakage, everything you said in that audio? Do you have any regrets?
I want to understand the question. Are you asking me whether I have any regret about meeting Bukre Nabu? That is different from having any regret about the leakage, as if I caused the leakage.
No. So you're saying so. Nice. Please, can you, shoot the question again? Maybe it's lost on him here.
Yes. You see, Commissioner, you were engaged in a conversation with a friend, someone you trusted. Now, you asked, you are captured as having said so many things. We don't want to go into that. I'm saying that as a commissioner of police, do you have any regrets that these things are in the public domain, and Commissioner Mensah's name is being mentioned left, right, center. Do you have any regrets at all?
Mr. Chairman, must be frank. Yes, because I thought I was speaking to a well-respected, confidential friend. I didn't know that I was just speaking to such a person.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Answers. Yes. Now, this is the final question for the day. And then we'll see how it goes. Commissioner. That the tape is incomplete. Do you have the complete tape?
Mr. Chairman, my intel suggests that what was used to tape the conversation was done by the current IGP. He sent some people to do it, and after which he went for it. So the tape, from my intel, is with the IGP, and he caused it to be leaked. So if this committee wants the tape, the right person to call before this committee is the Inspector General of Police.
Commissioner, with the greatest of respect, did you verify what your intel told you, or this is a hearsay? Did you have the ocular proof from what your intel told you? Or this is something that you just believe it could be true?
This is not something that I just believe to be true. But, Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't want to say it here, but I can tell you in confidence. I can tell the committee in confidence, but not here.
In camera, okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I'm sure you are fully persuaded that there are a lot of outstanding matters.
Yes.
And because of that, expect us to call you back. We'll crave your indulgence for the sake of what is going on, that you don't travel, in the immediate future, so that we'll be able to have the benefit of your presence. Okay. So for now, you are released. And in good time, you'll hear from us.
COP George Mensah also added that Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare is the worst IGP with the 31 years he's been with the service.
Yesterday, you made it clear to the committee that Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, the Inspector General of Police, is not managing the police well. Have you ever had an opportunity to express this, either directly to him or at the police management board meeting?
Honorable Member and the Honorable Chair, several opportunities. And what I said yesterday, if you give me the chance today, I will say so again. He is not managing the police service well. And for me, for the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had in this country.
Please hold on. Yesterday, we realized that if we are not careful, this will be a trial of the entire police service, which will have national security implications. And therefore, every line of questioning which will want to bring about the issue of the IGP and his competence and the rest of the matters, will give you the opportunity in camera, so we listen to you. So members, let's have it at the back of our minds. You see, if we are not careful, understand, then we are trying the IGP in his absence by what he's pronouncing, which will not be a good way to handle the matter. So please, let's leave that area. For good measure, an opportunity will be given you in camera. Now, what do you believe with your 31 years of experience is a problem with the entire police setup, the head being the IGP? You let us know, and we'll know how we'll glean meaning and substance from what you say and incorporate it in some of the recommendations that we'll do. So, Superintendent, I crave your indulgence. Let's leave that area and deal with the main issues.
You heard excerpts of the interaction between COP George Mensah, his lawyer, and members of the committee.
And sounds very explosive there, listening to the Commissioner of Police, who almost became an IGP. If the President has nominated him, he would have become the Inspector General of Police. And he appeared before the committee, and you heard what he said to committee members. Number of issues have arisen from this. Does it mean there's trouble at the commissioner's level in the Ghana Police Service, or this is just an exclusive problem that perhaps George Alex Mensah has with his boss, the IGP? Major Derek Odro was once a soldier. He's retired. He became a deputy minister in the Akufo-Addo government in charge of defense. He understands security matters and the implications of comments like this particular one. We've called him up now to pick his perspectives to the ongoing discussion. Major, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my big brother, for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Have you been watching the conversations around the leaked tape in Parliament?
Yeah, partially. I've watched it, I think, an occasion or a number of occasions.
The parts you saw, what are the things that come up or jump at you? For us, it's a bit shocking hearing a commissioner of police say the things he was saying. Initially, having heard him say it in a tape recording, and for that tape recording to be authenticated, it sounds scandalous, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is quite true. When I heard it, my good people came up. Good people came up because of the fact that the revelations that came up on TV, on radio, some of these things, when this issue came up, I thought it was going to be an administrative inquiry in the police service, so that most of these things wouldn't have come out as we are hearing now. Now, Parliament took it up and wanted to do the investigation. Now, I was also thinking that they shouldn't have come so open. Press shouldn't have been there. They should have done it in camera and not as they have done it now. Because a lot of revelations have come up, and maybe they did not envisage that some security issues will pop up. Now the chairman has come up to say that some of other issues will be taken on camera. A lot of issues have already come up. Now, how would somebody take it when a certain IGP is being chastised this way? It is not the best. Police officers are hearing, the public is hearing. A lot of us have even commended the IGP for doing a very good job. Can we now flash our minds back when the President of the Republic of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, was swearing in the IGP? He said, I have appointed you as the IGP, and I don't want you to become a party IGP. You are for the nation, and therefore, whatever happens, when it involves any anybody you think is in the government or somewhere, don't take it to be that you are GP for the nation. I think he was saying this because of the fact that a lot of people have been coming up with this comment, order from above, and such issues are swept under the carpet. So President came out to say this thing. And IGP is doing the same wish that the President, thought about. So everybody is commending IGP. Those people who are not even in the security circle, everybody commending the whole nation, because he has arrested a lot of government officials. He's arrested members of parliament, and everybody is commending this IGP. And if it comes out that his work is not appreciated by his own people, why haven't they appreciated his work? The COP minister who came to talk about the management of the police service by the IGP, so we don't have to forget that he has commented that he has been lobbying for the position of IGP ever since. I would have wished he hadn't come out with that saying. Maybe he should have better said it that he has been aspiring to become IGP and not lobbying. Lobbying is different from aspiring to be. You work hard to earn that appointment. But if we are lobbying, then we have something to say about it. So I was thinking that a lot of these issues should have been heard behind closed doors and not in public.
Should the public not get to know the ugly things that happen behind the scene in our security setup? It is important that we know, so that if there's a need for reform, the calls may be made, and Parliament may be the right institution that could possibly talk about reforms if the police administration or police service is a politicized one. Because to hear the COP say that the police personnel are divided on party lines, that's problematic.
And that is against security. It raises security concerns. Now, if Parliament had done this thing in camera, yes, people supposed to know, but their representatives will take it up and then do the needful. And therefore, it's supposed not to go for the media and any other person to handle it the way it's supposed not to go. It's not all people who can handle security issues. Some will not mind, and they will come out and say whatever they need not to say. And it will go all the way to endanger the national security. And therefore, I think that, yes, we're supposed to know, but if you don't need to know, you're supposed not to know. Information is passed on need-to-know basis. And if it goes where you're supposed not to go, then we are putting the whole nation in danger. That is why I'm saying that, yes, we have to investigate. Even when they finish and their report goes to the chamber, it's supposed not to be open to the press. It's supposed to be on a committee of the whole. We have a committee of the whole where press gallery is cleared, and they don't entertain any stranger in the house, and then they talk about it because of the security implications. We've had the occasions where security budget has been discussed because it involved a lot of secrets, and we didn't like people to come in and listen to all these things, and then the press will comment on those ones. You are going to buy arms and ammunition. You are going to buy so sensitive logistics is supposed not to come out, and therefore we treated this one, behind a closed door, if you like. Committee of the whole, we discussed it, and it never came up. But ordinary defense budget, yes, we take it at the floor. So this issue is supposed to have been treated this way. Okay. And now it's out. Many things may even come up next time because COP mentioned is poised on giving out his feelings about IGP. Maybe he has some issues with him because he has already come out to say that, yes, he was promoted during the previous administration. He has been promoted more than what he should have envisaged. But it never happened, and IGP has come to overtake him and then be made the IGP. And I think he's aggrieved. And therefore, he will come out, that he is living on terminal leave, and you may not even go back to the service. He will come out with so many things which will not be palatable for the security of this nation.
Now, what should Inspector General of Police George Akufo-Dampare be doing following what we are hearing before the committee? Is there anything you would advise he does, or he should just stay put and watch and continue to do the work that he does?
So, if you are a human being and somebody talks about you, now all that you have to deduce certain facts from it. If they are accusing you, you make sure that the accusations are not true. Say that they are not true. If they are true, then you change. So it will help him. But it's not all people who are supposed to hear this. It's not all service personnel. I'm talking about the police service who's supposed to hear all this. And some of them might not have even thought about these issues in the service. But now the attentions are being drawn. So anytime IGP calls, say, we said it. It will not do well for him when these things are out and then he's still the IGP.
Moving forward, you have been in the security services. You have worked as a politician before. But is it common knowledge or an open secret that promotions, you rose to the rank of major before you retired? Is it true that, or do you also have that in the armed forces where promotions are done based on political affiliations? Because that appears to be what COP Alex Mensah was saying to the committee, at least in the police service.
Promotions are done on political affiliations. By which way? There are certain promotions which are done by the council, Armed Forces Council, Police Council, and the chairman of the Police Council, chairman of the Armed Forces Council is the vice president. And armed forces will come up with their own promotions. We have the hierarchy there. General headquarters is there. Army, Navy, Air Force. They will sit down and come up with those who are qualified to be promoted. And they will push it to the council. And then the minister will also be a member of the council. There are so many people who are members of the council. And therefore, if you say political, that is maybe how you see it. But all the promotions, they take advice from the service. And therefore, it is not only that president has appointed this. President doesn't know all people in the armed forces. President doesn't know everybody in the police service. But recommendations will be made from the service and from those who have been with them and who need to make any contribution to the promotion. So it's not fully true that things are done fully by politicians and we don't have the input of the services.
All right. Now, do you think that the Inspector General of Police, having been mentioned at this committee, be invited by the committee, or he should request to appear before the committee to respond to some of the issues that have been raised against him? Do you think that would be necessary?
No, there's no need for him to be invited because people are accusing him. And he's
been accused, so the accuser must be heard, or he should come so that he's heard.
The terms of reference, I don't know the terms of reference. They are talking about the leak tape. So the terms of reference doesn't cover anything that would warrant the invitation of the IGP. I don't think it's better. It's in good direction for them to invite IGP. They should consider the matter as it has been reported, as people have been said about the leak tape, and that's all. That should end it.
Very well.
And I expect that the rest of the investigation should be in camera.
Very well. Before we go, what has Major Retired Derek Odro been up to? Akufo-Addo didn't give you a job again in his government. So are you farming? What are you doing?
I was a deputy defense minister. and somebody came and changed me. I'm still with the party. I contribute my quota. You know, if I should even say that, now you are interviewing me. So I'm part of the national security architecture. I give out my ideas. Maybe consultations are done and you are not aware. So I've been considered, and I still come under consideration when it comes to the governance of this country.
Any plans
they wouldn't throw my ideas, my expertise away just like that. No, I'm still around.
What are you doing privately on your own?
Hey, no.
You are farming. I predicted. What are you farming?
I'm a big time commercial farmer. I have mango plantation, orange plantation. I produce maize, cassava, yam, everything. Come here in my farm here. They call here Dero City.
I see. Interesting. The agric ministry has launched phase 2 of the planting for food and jobs. I think you should apply and work with them. But any plans to go to Parliament again?
Parliament is a place where you go there when the people ask you to go. When they approve, or they think that you have to go and represent them.
Are you campaigning?
You also have your own say. If they say go and you think you don't want to go. For now, for this current coming primaries, no, I didn't. I want to stay back and see. After 4 times, it's just enough for me. Somebody should go and they will see the difference. You know, so for this primaries, no, I'm not part of it.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and wish you all the best, sir.
I also thank you very much.
That's Major Retired Derek Odro. He was a Deputy Minister of Defense in the first term of the Akufo-Addo government. And he was there just sharing with us his views on the happenings before the ad hoc committee of Parliament, which is probing the leaked tape, the tape that apparently has people in the plotting to remove the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We are also around the globe on citynewsroom.com. A number of you sending your messages through. Let me read some of them. So Obama in Pokwasi says, Derek Odro should stop crying over spilled milk. The veil has already been lifted. No need for any in-camera hearing. The IGP must be invited to respond to the allegations made against him. Solomon from Jogbove in Dabala says, in fact, I'm so much impressed with Honorable James Agaga questioning of COP Alex on his hatred, selfless and jealous attitude towards the current IGP through his party line that opposed him. Whatever COP Alex told Public Hearing Committee yesterday, and especially today, is based on his political affiliation and hatred. Zilis Dwayne in London says COP spoke out of bitterness. Jejom in Taifa says such undesirable bitter character in the police service. How did he get in there? Ahin Fokojo in Takradi says, in this country, there's nothing new under the sun. We all know security personnel are always divided on party lines. It's time we let the world know, and let's stop the pretense and deal with the issues openly. Let's speak to the Vice Chairman of the committee, MP for Bulsa South, James Agaga. He was a Deputy Minister for the Interior. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sander.
Yesterday, you had your witness. You adjourned and continued today. There was a back and forth over the transcripts of the audio. We saw a lot of back and forth. You had to adjourn ahead of midday for 1 hour to allow them look through the transcript. Can you marry for us the two difficult or the problems you had and how you resolved them? The audio that you played for everybody to hear and the transcripts that you publicized, which transcripts were challenged by the witness?
Yes, Sander. First of all, there was a leaked audio which went viral, and that formed the basis of the setting up of the ad hoc committee to authenticate, amongst other terms of reference, the audio, which is, in the public domain. And so when we started calling witnesses, Buri Nabu was the first to appear and testify. Well, it became necessary for the convenience and mark my words, for the convenience of the committee members to have the audio transcribed for ease of reference. So our clerks then took it upon themselves to transcribe, the audio. So we have a document which is the transcribe of what is on the audio. Now, when a COP, Alex Mensah, and his counsel appeared before the committee, they made a request for the committee to assist them with the transcript. The committee readily obliged because we thought that, well, if they wanted it for ease of reference, why not would hand it over to them? But when they perused the transcript, they started making certain claims that the audio did not match well with the transcript. And so, therefore, they needed time to juxtapose the two and to determine which aspects of the audio were not reflected in the transcript. So we gave them that opportunity. Now, when it was now time for the committee to continue with its work, some objections were raised, and those objections touched on the doctrine, the alleged doctrine of the audio. So at that point, the committee then allowed the witness, COP Alex Mensah, to point out which aspects of the audio captured on the transcript, which appears doctored in his view. So he took the transcript and marked some aspects of it. And we took that into consideration when we resumed questioning him. So, Sandra, this was what delayed the proceedings today. As much as possible, we want to be fair. And so there's nothing to hide. Okay. The committee is not witch hunting anybody. We want to afford witnesses who appear before us all the available facilities to so that they can be comfortable and assist the committee to do a good job.
I know that you'll be coming up with a report, but as a questioner on the committee, what do you make of the answers that came from the witness?
Well, I don't want to pass judgment now, but some of the witnesses responded to the questions. We took account of their demeanor, their candor, and so on and so forth. All these things will reflect in the committee's report eventually when we evaluate the evidence that has been adduced. There's a likelihood that we might call more witnesses. Even in the case of DCOP Alex Mensah, we're not done with him yet because there are aspects of his testimony that was curtailed in the name of national security. So there was this proposition that he be heard, in camera, with respect to the aspects of his testimony that would touch on national security. So the committee obliged and said, well, we would hear him in camera because from their own point of view, some of the things he might say could compromise national security. And because we don't know what he's going to say, we obliged him that opportunity to appear before us in camera and then make the necessary disclosures. And then we can take it up from there.
Talking about appearance before your committee, the Inspector General of Police, George Akuffo-Dampari's name has come up. Is the committee going to invite him to respond to the issues that have been raised and allegations that have been made against him, especially about the claim by George Alex Mensah that he believes that Dampari was the one who orchestrated the recording, and so the audio that you are looking for should be with the IGP and not with the president, as we were even told in the first place?
Okay, so, Sandra, this is how I see it. and I'm speaking for myself, not the committee as a whole, because we haven't met and agreed, on the question of whether or not to call the Inspector General to assist the committee with this work. And so I'm speaking purely from my own point of view. Look, the first witness, Bugri Nabu, took responsibility for, the recording, the tape. He said he recorded the conversation he had with DCOP, Alex Mensah, and Superintendent Asari. He recorded them. He took responsibility. But today, COP Alex Mensah, gave the whole matter another twist. He is now alleging that the Inspector General of Police is the one who engineered the recording of that conversation. Now, that is a very serious allegation to make. In all fairness to the Inspector General of Police, the committee may have to invite him to come and assist it, determine whether he actually played a role in the recording, right? So that if it turns out that, yes, indeed, he was involved in having the tape recorded, then he could also assist the committee to further do the authentication, because what the committee is interested in really is whether the tape in question is authentic or not. The Buri Nabu has already taken the lead by saying that he did the recording. Today you heard Alex Mensah say, aspects of the tape are not genuine. He admitted and took responsibility for some aspects of it, as you saw when the proceedings were underway. So I think that it's only fair that before we make any conclusive statements as a committee, especially once the IGP's name has been mentioned in line with natural justice, you want him to be heard. But like I said, that is my personal view for now. The committee would meet Monday to hear Superintendent Asare, and I'm sure after the proceedings, we would sit down to take decisions with respect to who to call next. Okay,
very well. Thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on your committee. Thank you for speaking to us. That's James Agaga. He's Member of Parliament for Bulsa. One of the Bulsas. I was going to say North or South. Okay, he's Vice Chairman of the committee. He's Bulsa North MP, Vice Chair of the Committee of Parliament that is investigating the leaked tape. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll return with more. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry, Chairman Mane. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Let's now do some other stories. The National Petroleum Authority says the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model will be implemented concurrently with the existing distribution model until it is fully phased out. The model involves refilling LPG cylinders at large refilling plants and subsequently supplying them to consumers at specialized retail outlets known as exchange points. On the first day of implementation, Citi News' visit to some LPG stations revealed that the implementation had not yet commenced. The authority explained that refilling plants are at various stages of completion, causing a delay in the rollout. Speaking to Citi News, the head of gas in charge of commercial regulation at the authority, Obed Quinn Boachi, indicated that consumers can still visit their LPG filling stations to refill their cylinders until exchange points are established in their communities.
So what we are saying is we are running the old model the old model, or the model we know now. We are running it side by side of the cylinder recirculation model. What it means is that the refilling station where you have been filling your cylinders all this while, when you go there in the meantime, you can still fill your cylinder to whatever quantity you want and take it home until you see an exchange point pop up in your local area or in your vicinity, and then decide to go there and begin the cylinder exchange. Then from that point on, anytime you are out of gas, you go to that station and then exchange for a filled one.
Okay. And so do you have specific areas that you are targeting with respect to this whole model?
No, so we are rolling out throughout the entire country. However, what we said was that because the initial bottling plants are in Tema and then in Kumasi, there's a likelihood that the rollout will begin in these areas and gradually spread out to the country. But the LPG marketing companies and then the bottling plants are at will to set up at any part of the country where they can track cylinders and then begin to distribute.
You heard the head of gas in charge of commercial regulation at the authority, Obed Quinn Boachi, speaking there. Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has intercepted over 700 fake meters at Dabala Junction in the Volta region, which were being smuggled into the country. The interception stems from a collaboration between the Electricity Company of Ghana and various security agencies under the company's Operation Zero exercise to rid the country of fake meters which are causing financial loss to the state. Speaking to Citi News, the Volta Regional Public Affairs Officer of the ECG, Benjamin Oben-Entry, advised customers to desist from purchasing and installing fake meters in their homes.
As part of our operation, what we have noticed is that some customers are consuming power illegally without paying as a result of obtaining meters through illegal means, i.e. foreign meters. So we have engaged the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, we have engaged the Ghana Navy, we have engaged the military, and then the Afro Border Customs Patrol as well to assist us, because we have noticed that some meters are coming through Togo. These foreign meters, once they come, they get into our system, and then customers use these meters illegally, and it becomes difficult for us to capture them. When these meters are installed on our blind side, we don't have any idea about it. When customers are using such meters, it affects our commercial operations as well as our technical operations. These customers consume power illegally and then on the blind side, so they end up consuming power. Then even in terms of that, even customers who are using these meters are not safe, because these meters can cause fire outbreaks in their premises as well. The customers should desist from purchasing these meters or acquiring these meters and then visit the nearest TV office for the assessment.
That was the Volta Regional Public Affairs Officer of the ECG, Benjamin Oben-Entry. Away from that, the Kaswa District Police Command has arrested a man in his 30s who allegedly attacked two persons with a hammer during an argument that ensued between some tenants. One of the victims, Edmond Ampoma, who is currently on admission at the Mother and Child Hospital, said he collapsed after his head was struck with a hammer by the suspect, Kwabena Brenya, a commercial driver.
Misina brother Medina chief friend say the wife no be any issue if I wo city inside and me measure na international can solve it because any betwe chef you be play into me ko na omo me brother wife no point is say I go nearest to him.
I was called upon to settle an argument between some tenants. There were a number of people in the house when I got there. I quickly asked one of them to tell me what exactly happened, but got no response. Another one told me not to intervene in the matter. I quickly asked my sister-in-law to explain the issue to me. Then, all of a sudden, I saw one angry tenant with a hammer. He hit me with the hammer, then I went down bleeding.
So when I turned my back like this, and said, "Boy, no, Timmy, Danny, many happen, and boy, no, I didn't have my casepa or the pomity."
You heard one of the victims assaulted with a hammer at Kaswa in the central region. Away from that, NPP activist Hobson Adoye has told Citi News he has presented before the party's Presidential Elections Committee evidence of allegations of vote buying and the August 26 Special Delegate Congress. Hobson Adoye, who served as an agent for flag-bearer aspirant Alan Chematin at the NPP headquarters, was summoned to appear before the disciplinary committee over the allegations. Instead, he appeared before the Elections Committee on Thursday, chaired by Professor Michael Okwe. Hobson Adoye tells Citi News he still stands by his allegations.
So I went there and then gave them what transpired, that at the center, nothing as such happened. Only that when the chief of staff came there, after voting, instead of her going, she decided to stay at the Women's Organizers office, which was about 10 meters from the ballot box. And when people cast their votes, they called them into that office. As to what transpired there, we cannot tell. But we suspected that something fishy was going on there. And we also saw someone carrying a brown envelope to the office. So I gave that evidence to the committee. And they asked whether I have an evidence. And I told them, since we have CCTV cameras at the headquarters, where the door is, the camera will capture it. So they can go and then play back the footage of 26 August. And they will know that chief of staff was in that room for more than 1 hour. And people have been called to the room during that period. So after that, if they have any other things that maybe they need a clarification, I can do it. So basically, that's what I told them. And it was based on that. In fact, I reported the incident to the police and then the electoral officials to make sure they get the woman out of the station. But, that couldn't materialize. So that was what transpired at the meeting.
That was NPP activist Hobson Adoye. Now, the Ghana Prison Service has set up a committee to investigate allegations made against some officers of the Nswam security prisons by two ex-convicts. The ex-convicts made allegations against some of the officers of the prison service, citing them for inhumane treatment and misconduct. A statement issued and signed by the acting public relations officer of the Ghana Prison Service, Superintendent Ya Prempe Sifa, said the service would not shield any officer found culpable of any of the allegations and any act that contradicts the rules and regulations of the service. The statement said the service was committed to safe custody, humane treatment, reformation, and reintegration of inmates to make them responsible, productive, and law-abiding to ensure public safety.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Up next, we have business news. And then on Point Blank, my guest is a member of Parliament for Yendi, the Honorable Farouk Mahama, who is on the campaign team of Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia's agenda to be flag bearer of the NPP. But before that, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, says consumers are now paying 1 cedi extra on every water bill they pay to enable the Ghana Water Company properly treat water at the various pumps or at the various facilities that they treat water, or various treatment centers. According to the Commission, this has become necessary due to the high cost of water treatment caused by illegal mining activities, also known as Galamsey. Already, the Ghana Water Company has warned that it may be forced to shut down some treatment plants due to the impact of Galamsey on its operations.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line. A little tight by the hips. Covered sleeves. Off shoulder. Definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes na bonten father ma shanaba. Ma many papa nnuanu na do for mo fie ni mo akwentum. Hwe bibia anya so amani ska ko fie si fancy da na fie for abefo jawisi no parking. Ebe me Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how to nyina atwa. Hwe Sukasa si adan abroni for an affordable luxury homes. All more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. Where you're fully gated or grants and communities. Or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities. Plus 24-hour security. Omo flexible payments and yeah, no my dear Casa. Plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick one-answer stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and 055-369-7886. Charlie, social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susie at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citybusinessnews.com. I am Nashika Caesar. Let's settle for the details. The Bank of Ghana is optimistic of an end in sight to the prevailing economic challenges bedeviling the country. For the central bank, it is on course to tackling the economic struggles brought on by COVID-19, rising inflation, domestic economic shocks, external vulnerabilities, loss of access to the international market, and sustainable debt levels leading to restructuring. Speaking on behalf of the governor at the opening of a financial literacy workshop for journalists on the theme, Regaining Confidence in the Economy, the Role of Monetary Policy, Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abradotu, said the bank will continue to enhance its monetary policy to turn things around, urging the public to have confidence in the bank's economic management.
But I think the key issue is, why are we talking about regaining confidence? Somebody may ask, do we really need to regain confidence? What has happened to the economy? And I'll say emphatic yes, we need to regain confidence. So you can see the tall list where we started from 2000 all the way through to now, to the domestic debt exchange, its impact of the banks, its impact on Bank of Ghana. I think the big question is, where do we go from here? And therefore, we need confidence to turn things around. We are going through the implementation of the IMF program. It's going smoothly. So far, I think the first review, we just had the IMF come up in the course of the week to say that everything towards a successful first review is on track. We are seeing inflation declining steadily.
That was the Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abradotu. Moving on, the Ministry of Finance has hinted of plans to streamline the activities of microfinance and other non-banking institutions across the country. Although the ministry maintains that the multiplicity of the industry promotes financial inclusion, which government endorses, it has become imperative to scale up efforts to control the sector, as some operators are taking undue advantage to the general public. Here is the head of banking and non-banking unit at the Finance Ministry, Andrew Amekson.
As for the multiplicity, it's good for the economy because, you see, we want to expand financial inclusion. And financial inclusion is to make the unbanked people to also have access to the banking sector so they can be able to have their resources and plan their finances well. But the challenge is who are the people that are running these institutions. And that is where supervision comes in. So when we talk about supervision, that there are a lot of them and therefore supervision will be difficult. It may be yes or no. Yes, if they are licensed by the right institutions, supervision is easy. But if they are not licensed, they don't know about them. So it will be difficult for them to follow up to them. So this is where I come in, that as citizens, this is some of our responsibility, that we need to prompt and preempt these institutions that, look, this institution is operating here. I want you to be checked and confirm whether they are licensed to do whatever they are doing. Initially, the sector don't have a policy that is guiding it, that is driving it. And so now government, looking at the importance of this sector, is coming up with the support of GIZ to develop a policy. We are far advanced and the policy is being developed. A consultant is doing that for us. Once the consultant is done, a consultant is also going to help us to do the restructuring. So in the terms of restructuring, that's where these recommendations can come in. To see that, look, these institutions, you are not strong. It will be better for you to see how you can merge to strengthen the institution. So all these things will come in when the restructuring is done.
That was the head of banking and non-banking units at the Finance Ministry, Andrew Ameksin. Away from that, the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has revealed that Ghana has surged ahead in West Africa's renewable energy sector with a deployment of 151 megawatts of solar energy. Speaking at a sustainable energy conference in Accra, Dr. Adam emphasized the government's commitment to furthering its green energy initiatives, announcing an ambitious plan to double its solar deployment capacity to 300 megawatts by the close of 2024. Looking ahead to 2030, he expressed Ghana's aspiration to harness solar sources for energy production on a massive scale, aiming to contribute approximately 1,350 megawatts of solar-generated energy. Now, stakeholders within the food value chain are being urged to intensify their efforts at minimizing the occurrence of fungi found on agricultural crops destined for both domestic and external consumers. This, according to AGRA, an African-led agric institution, will play a crucial role in lessening the likelihood of grains from the country being flagged by the European Union. Speaking at a stakeholder forum here in Accra, the Director of Policy and State Capacity at AGRA, Dorothy Ifwa, assured of her organization's unwavering commitment to supporting the government in transforming Ghana's agricultural sector.
Another area that AGRA also has supported the government is aflatoxin. There was some years back, there was this publication about kenke gives cancer, and everybody was running here and there. All this as a result of aflatoxin infestation in our grains. And this is something that is very, very, very difficult because, one, it is really affecting our trade. Most of our imports outside, especially to the European Union, gets notification because of the high percentage of aflatoxins in it. And because of that, there were some individuals who were trying to do something, but there's the need to bring all these people together under one policy so that they will all know how to make sure that we can try and minimize this aflatoxin menace, which is very, very difficult. We are all at risk because we all eat these value chains that are really infested with aflatoxins, especially maize, peanut granules.
That was the Director of Policy and State Capability at AGRA, Dorothy Ifwa. And that's it for City Business News on Eyewitness News. It was powered by your most comprehensive business website, citybusinessnews.com. I'm Nashika Caesar. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You know, your Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry, Chairman Omani. Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Technology is shaping the workforce of the future. Are you job market ready? Looking for a career change or want to get into the tech space? The place to start is with ALX. ALX, an Africa Leadership Group initiative in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, is developing a talent pool within the technology sector. ALX offers courses in software engineering, AWS cloud computing, data analytics, and Salesforce administration. This is an opportunity to learn in-demand skills in a changing job market. ALX provides added value in training programs, mentorships, and networking. Apply now and get started on your dream career. Visit www.alxafrica.com to register before the deadline of 12 September 2023.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign, DMB campaign, and the agenda to ensure he becomes flag bearer. Prior to the primaries, he met members of parliament, and we're told over 100 of them were supporting him. I mean, the NPP MPs. One of his key supporters, who spoke to me on Eyewitness News during that time, is a man representing the people of Yendi. His father was a vice president, the late Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. So, Farouk Mahama is my guest on Point Blank. He supports the DMB agenda. You're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Wa alaikum salam. I didn't add that you are the caucus chair, the Muslim MP's caucus chair, correct, right?
Yes, in Parliament. Yes.
Okay. When are you taking us to Hajj?
We've been to a Hajj, and it's a successful one. Inshallah, under the presidency of Nana Addo Dankwa, Muslims have been treated with very special treatment. Innovations have been added to previous Hajj, feeding and other stuff. So kudos to the Hajj board chairman and the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for having that vision of making Muslims feel very, very relieved and comfortable in their day-to-day activities at Hajj.
How is the government generally? Do you play any specific roles in government?
No, I don't play any specific role. But as a member of parliament, I'm privileged to have been appointed by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the board chairman of Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development. So obviously, we're adding our quota to the.
So you're still the board chair?
Yes.
Okay, how is that looking?
It's looking good. Yeah.
Is that the one that is bringing us the bauxite thing?
No, that is the iron. The iron through the iron we get steel and we able to build bridges. Able to do a lot of
your place GISDEC. You are the board chair of GISDEC.
Yes.
Is that not the one that is doing what's the name of the thing that China
iron ore?
No, the China program to build roads for us and we give them bauxite.
No, that's not one. That's the GISDEC.
Okay, that's different from your own. So what does this one do?
This one is obviously to incorporate and make sure the Iron and Steel Development Corporation, we try to use concessions to know the mineral resource estimations of the country. Okay. Through that, we get the iron. Through iron, we can do a lot of steel. Okay. Through that, automobile industry can be able to use that. And we are on course to doing that. And as under the leadership of our minister, Honorable Abu Jinapo, and the president, we are obviously on track to do things. But tonight is a different agenda.
I know. I just wanted to be sure. So before your late dad died, did you have conversations with him on Dr. Bawumia? What was his thinking about Dr. Bawumia being president or running flag bearer and all of that?
Thank you very much. My late father, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, first of all, was the first Muslim vice president of the Fourth Republic for the New Patriotic Party under the leadership of our father and godfather, President John Ejiokom Kufuor. after 30 years of wilderness in trying to come to power, MPP has been privileged to have that pair that came into power. And having done a lot for the party, obviously, after his attempt to contest for the 2007 elections with our current president and the Honorable Alan Kojo Chamanti, it was a very competitive elections in Legon. And if you get to know, none of them got 50 plus one. And I remember my late father played a critical role in ensuring that we all accept and move on with the acclamation of our president and Adodang. And it went very well. And after that, he played a critical role in supporting the president in the 2008 elections, both financially and taking Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to all the nook and cranny. But before to choose Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, at least it is something that is evident. He played a major role in vouching for the vice president, giving the assurances to the president and President Kufuor that he was obviously going to hold the hand of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to take him to every nook and cranny. If you care to know, at that time, my late father was somebody who was well-versed across all the 16 regions of the country. And having been a vice president and the first Muslim vice president with clout, it was important to have used that opportunity to help Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was then coming in. And in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's own words, and at least appreciating the efforts of my father, said that he was very new in politics, and that role has been played, and he did that in 2008. And in 2012, the same way he was his vision to see that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia becomes a president, which he tried and paved the way to give every opportunity to everybody in the party, whichever you come from, whether the north, the south, or the east. And that gave that Dr. Bawumia that ambition. And obviously in the 2012 elections, he did that just to make sure Dr. Mahmoud, but through the campaign around, he was sworn away to campaign with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and he had that serious, and through that, after a few days, he died. So I see that the vision of him trying to see Bawumia succeed as a vice president and onward to become a president was something that was very, very dear to me. And I knew that if he was alive, he would have obviously been happy with what is happening after the superdelegates.
So you're holding the baton for your dad?
Of course, having been the eldest son of my father, obviously I should be the one spearheading the Aliyu Muhammad agenda for the vice president, of course, obviously.
Even though you had Alan in 2007 and the campaign was at Edroni, so you do not think that it should go to Alan this time?
Yes, I mean, as I said, the party is a democratic party. If you get to know, at the time my dad was vice president, he contested with the foreign minister and a lot of people. And if you know, MPP is a party of Democrats. If you're an MPP, truly fledged MPP, you should never be afraid of elections. If you take you from our president, President John Kufuor, where he went through to become a president, what President Nado went through to become a president. But the wind of change always comes in a different form, because if you look at Honorable Alan Kojo Chamanti, a very respected and a fine trade minister who has done a lot for both President Kufuor's government and our government. He's a very respected man, humble and all that. But that Edrumisu thing, I saw it to be like, if it's Edrumisu, then we must obviously use Dr. Kunedu Apreku. And I think that slogan is well couched, but didn't really reflect and would not reflect in the outcome of every election vis-a-vis 4th November and what we have just seen in the delegates conference. I don't think the dream is so. The shocker is to having an emergence of a new person that is Honorable Kennedy Japan, who has really surprised the system. So that dream is so has been overtaken by showdown.
I like how you put it. A dream is taken over by showdown. Are you supporting Dr. Bawumia because 1, you are a Muslim, 2, you are a Northerner, or 3, there's something else you're looking at?
There's nothing Northernership of me trying to support Dr. Bawumia. What it is that, first of all, MPP is a party for all of us, Dumbo, Danko, Buzia. But when we look at the competence of somebody who we want him to lead, we are not saying all those who contested are not competent people. Alan Chamanti is very competent. Kennedy Japan, very competent. Our former agric minister, very competent. But you see, we need some certain qualities and a competitive advantage, and that is the marketability of our vice president. Concurrently, he has been marketed across the country from 2008 to now. 16-year airspace. He's been in the airspace. He's been marketed. Bawumia is a brand that is being known by every nook and cranny of the country. So therefore, every party
Alan was also known from 2007. Yes. Alan Cash. There's a song
Alan
for
Cash.
him.
But I mean, Bawumia's work, even going to the box for the party, defending the party at the time that everybody, through that the electoral fortunes, we were wide awakened to know a lot of stuff in terms of voter electoral processes. Our president Nado had to put in systems that will make sure that when we go to the voting centers, we were very, very aligned and very, very vigilant in the day. So Bawumia is somebody who is very, very competent, who has gone through the country, understands every problems in the country, understands the constituents, understands wherever we're coming from, and is somebody who has that competitive advantage to rally all of us to lead us to breaking the 8. And that is how come I've chosen Dr. Bawumia. I'm not looking at his religion or his where he comes from. That doesn't matter. It also matters because it's also wipe up that perception that President John Mahama keeps saying that Northerners are people that have been sidelined. And if you care to know, in 1979, my late grandfather, my maternal grandfather, Mori Gala, was somebody who was going to contest. He had a party, PNP, and my grandfather was disqualified. They used to call him the Mori Gala, the president who never was. And he brought in Limam. Through the shortest period of time, Limam came within 3 months. We didn't have that opportunity. So I think the MPP tried to trumpet with the support of the Ashantis, the Grants, everybody, and the spirit around the vice president. I don't think that they really looked at where he was coming from, because Ashanti region depicts where our stronghold is. And if we have strong MPs coming from Ashanti like Napo and other senior members, Eastern region like Brane Champo, Central region, a lot of important people and MPs who are more senior to me in Parliament, I was saying is about me, who am I as Farouk Ali Umama to say that the wind of change and the wind is surrounding our incoming president, inshallah, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, come December 7th, 2024.
What's the track record of Dr. Bawumia in the northern part of the country, specifically northern region and northeast, where he comes from?
Of course, if you look at the data from the times of my father, the late vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has added some numbers, if you care to know. And the initial numbers, if you look at the 2020 data, it tells you that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had performed better. If you look, we had 9 votes out of NDC had 9. It tells you that in 2020, 24 is going to be more. If you look at Northeast, the number of votes he brought, and it's through the northern votes that propagated our party to be able to win the 2020 elections. If you take Yendi constituency, for instance, he was part and parcel of my campaign, and the votes we brought from Yendi, almost 41,000, Honorable Dominic Nitwo, other Habib Idrisu, Honorable Anta, and other MPs from the north all came out massively with numbers. And not only that, it cut across all the northern territory that the MPP came from. And it tells you that in addition to adding votes to the president of the presidency of the Nado Danko. So obviously you cannot...
So he got the vote, but my point is that, so what has he done for the North?
He has done a lot.
What can you point to?
Please, are you talking about the lobbying skills of bringing funding to this recent Tamale airport we commissioned last week with Ayana? If you go to the Tamale interchange, you can see it. If you go to the northeast, the drone delivery systems has brought innovation. I was privileged to be part of the speakers at the Oxford British program in Oxford University, and I tried to propagate the ideas to the president and Nado Danko and the vice president idea, digitization, making sure that things become easy for us. And if you look at Northeast, the drone system, now if you have a critical situation in the country that you need something in the form of a blood, you don't need to go to the zip line drone system. And look, if you look at the Ghana card, the Ghana card, if I'm traveling, next week I'm traveling, my passport is not ready, I can use that passport to do what? The mobile interoperability, making sure we transfer money from different banks. These are all legacies. And I can
I say you're traveling next week with a Ghana card?
Yes.
To which country?
To Tanzania.
And they would accept the
Why
Ghana
not?
card?
Yes.
They told you that
yes,
if you
I'm
show
going
up,
as a member of the agric committee and cocoa affairs. Yes.
It's not because you have a diplomatic passport.
No. I'm testing the pulse, and I've accepted that I can travel with that.
Which days? Because we want to come to the airport.
Don't worry. When you are going, come with me. I can talk to my agric committee chairman to allow you to come in.
So that you would travel with a Ghana card to Tanzania.
Tanzania.
And you don't need Ghana passport.
You don't need Ghana passport.
Okay, that's fine. Question. The poverty levels in the north, definitely not the same as the poverty levels in the south.
Yes.
What has Dr. Bawumia done in that regard? A lot of the people we see in the central markets who do kayayo are from northeast, most specifically Wale.
Yes.
That's his hometown.
Yes.
If he has fixed the problems of the north, the youth of Wale should not be coming down south. How do you defend that?
Let me correct you. I didn't say that Dr. Bawumia has fixed all problems. No politician can solve all problems.
Okay.
With the support of the president and Nado Danko Akufo-Addo, giving him the opportunity, he's done a lot in terms of trying to erase a lot of employment opportunities. But you see, the Kayo issue is something that we must be realistic about. If you look at this Kayo, people must understand that the north is not the only place that you can move migrate to Accra. When you believe in what the North can provide, for instance, the dam they are coming to build in that area, the opportunities that the one district, one factory, the opportunities, when you are not even qualified to say you are a degree holder, you can put yourself into skills development. And the vice president is somebody that within the 8 years, what he's been able to do. And I know that the vision for reducing the unemployment rate in the country, especially targeting the KIO, is something that is going to be part of his vision to roll out to make sure that...
Should he not have already done it in the past
been doing, no.
6 years so that we say, oh, because of Dr. Bawumia, now the brain drain or the youth migration down south
it has minimized. It has minimized.
You sure?
Yes. People from Yendi, for instance, and through the support of the vice president and the Moroccan ambassador, we were trying to do what we call a skill, roping people with skills to make sure that we build a skills development center so that you don't run away to Accra. When you are skilled in terms of beads making, batik making, and this has been done through not only Yendi. I know the Honorable Minister for Sports is also doing that in that area where the vice president comes from. The Minister for Women and Children, my sister Laraba, they are all doing things to make sure, because she's the Minister for how do they call it?
Gender
and
children.
And I'm also privileged to become, I'm the chairman of the Gender Committee in Parliament. And
why did they do that? They should have made the woman do it all.
No, but...
Or agenda is gender.
No, gender is gender, so don't worry. Okay. So as the chairman, we are putting up a plan so that we've started registering all these KIAs in Accra. We are going to move, trying to get a facility from the UN. When we went for the UN General Assembly on Women and Children, it was something that I propagated and made sure that obviously certain funding should be given to people so that we target these less deprived people in the KIA, so that we give them a befitting skills so that they will not be moved or they will not have that vision to move to Accra. So these are ongoing things that we are doing, and with the support of the vice president and the president, it's going to be done.
When it comes to matters of the economy, before election 2016, the vice president did so much in terms of taking on the Mahama government on the issues having to do with the economy. Now we are not seeing the economy looking that good. Are you sure this is not going to be a big problem for your candidate?
Which candidate, Dr. Bawumia?
Yes.
How can it be a big candidate? The economy, everybody knew where we were due to certain Russia and other Ukraine things that came in. And it's not Ghana. Is it Ghana alone that is going through this process? There are successive governments that are across the country, even US, UK, are all going through these problems. So you cannot say that the vice president or the president is not. No, we are doing a lot. If you look at the IMF, we've gotten support from the IMF. Things are going on as we speak. The city is being stabilized. The economy is on a recovery, and our finance minister has shown and proven that things are going to be well. The fact that the vice president is not speaking on that doesn't mean that things are not done concurrently. Obviously, he's doing that with the notion of the end will justify the means. And before the end of the year 2023, we would see, and I don't see anything, we are not saying there are good times. Obviously, every listening government or every government that finds itself in a situation like this should rather not run away from the criticism. It's the criticism that we use to improve. And our president and the vice president have not run away from that. And the finance minister is working hardly, assiduously to make sure that we put the government on track. And the economy is in track. As we speak today, the exchange rates are dropping, and the dollar to the city is improving. So we should take note from that.
Even if Bawumia carries the flag of the NPP, he's going against John Mahama, who has been president before. He's also a Northerner.
Yes.
What do you think should be what would be the competitive advantage for Bawumia, or what would Bawumia give to Ghanaians that Mahama will not give to Ghanaians? For which reason Ghanaians should go the Bawumia way and not the Mahama way?
The NDC presidential candidate, John Mahama, has been privileged to be a deputy minister. I've been privileged to be a minister. I've been privileged to be an assemblyman. I've been privileged to be a vice president. I've been privileged to be a president. We have seen his working and what he did in the first 4 years. When our president, Nana Dankwa, came, he has performed much better in all sectors of the economy. Now, Dr. Bawumia, indications are that from what the spirit of the party is saying, would inshallah emerge as the flag bearer of our party. Inshallah, if God permits, Dr. Bawumia. I can tell you Dr. Bawumia has a lot of competitive advantage over the NDC's John Mahama, because the vice president was somebody who was virtually running the 2016 campaign elections with Dr. John Mahama. And a lot of things that were said comparative in terms of as vice president, the achievements he did vis-a-vis compared to what John Mahama did as vice president. Even as president, what John Mahama had done as a president, comparable to what Bawumia has done as a vice president, it's more way ahead of John Mahama.
Are you sure? Many people have been carrying big stones and giving to John Mahama on his campaign trail.
On what?
That he should come for his stone.
Which stone?
The things he told Ghanaians.
Who told Ghanaians?
For instance, retirees are demonstrating. Have you seen retirees demonstrating because their money has been taken by government before? It didn't happen under Mahama.
No, but
so,
hold on. Are you telling me that other critical issues under John Mahama?
Which issues?
But you know it.
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. What is the campaign going to be about? Is it going to be... Okay, is it going to be about corruption? Is it going to be about projects? Mahama will tell you that he built hospitals for you that you guys are enjoying. Even the Tamale International Airport.
No.
They tell you that they started the whole.
You know how the funding came about. You know it.
Yeah, but
when the vice president went to Britain, and it's all evidence with the team to go again. So please, facts are real. You don't just speak without facts.
Before Mahama left,
yes,
pilgrims were flying from Tamale to Saudi Arabia.
Was it the international airport?
Yes. If it was not international, how were they flying out to Hajj?
It was not.
Okay.
It was not.
What was it?
At that time, the building was not even in place.
Alhaji Farouk.
No.
The people flew from Tamale.
Hold on. Flying from Tamale doesn't mean that edifice that was built by our president was then completed. So
but
please,
if
you look at the runway and you look at the size of the runway and you use that
it's a runway that makes it international.
Fine.
No?
So runway doesn't justify a full composition of an international.
So he started it then?
No. There was no edifice initiated and built. It was the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo who initiated that and built and completed and commissioned by President Akufo-Addo. So you are now talking about campaign message you are going to use for 2024. What matters now is for us to win our flag bearer, that is Dr. Bawumia. He has his own vision. For now, I cannot speak on behalf of that plan and the blueprint the vice president is going to come. Having known the vice president, who is very innovative, who has things outside the box, who is a seasoned economist, obviously would come out with strategic directions and solutions that would be meted out to Ghanaians. But even before that, when he emerges as the flag bearer, he will definitely demonstrate to Ghanaians before the D-Day and that one clear year before. And I know the president will definitely give him the room for him to operate, which the president has always been doing.
But let me tell you about one person who will not give him the room to operate. He's your colleague from Asin Central, Kennedy Japon. He would really stress you on November 4, don't you think?
I mean, you see, Kennedy Japon is a very respected person, as I said. And it's really surprised us by coming to second. We respect him. He has done.
That means he will surprise you by coming first.
No, he cannot be first. Please, MPP party, taking reference from 2020. I'm making a scenario from 2024 Super Delegates Conference. Nana Addo, our president, had 598, representing
2014.
And Chairman Tin had. We knew what he got, 7%. And when we then went ahead to do the main elections, Nana Addo had 94.3%. Let me tell you, in 2023, we just voted. I was a voter with my constituency chairman and my senior colleagues in Parliament and across the board. DMB, you know what DMB got? Out of 961, he got 629, representing 68.8. It's the same situation we find ourselves if you want to use the data. The spirit of the party is rallying and hovering around Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm not saying that I'm being optimistic, but I can tell you that on the November 4th, it will be virtually difficult for any candidate apart from Bawumia to emerge as the leader of the party.
Well.
Dr. Bawumia would obviously come out and win massively, will come and we will need the support of Honorable Kennedy Japon. We will need the support of Alan Chamanti. And that is how we have to be circumspect in dealing with them. Because no matter how you find opponents in your campaigning, it's the way and the temperament. And that is the key point we must always be temperamental about our vice president. Temperamental and be able to absorb the heat. And he's always sober and will accept Kennedy as a brother and whoever that is involved as a leader of the party.
Let's conclude. Why should the NPP delegates in Yendi choose Farouk Mahama and why should people in Yendi choose you again to be their MP?
First of all, I emerged as a member of, as an aspirant I told the people of Yendi about my vision of the new Yendi City proud before I became a member of parliament. I had demonstrated seriousness in the health sector, agric sector, social intervention, women's support 4 years down the line before I became a member of parliament. And in your interview with Ben Avle, I told you that I was going to win with 12,000 votes. Truly, the delegates of Yendi knew who I was, know my credibility. Upon all the attacks that I'll run away as if I'm elected, won the primaries, went ahead to win with 16,000 votes, the highest in the whole North region. I'm even in the 3 North regions. I had the highest, 16. And between me and the president, I had beaten the president almost 3,000 votes difference.
So they like Farouk?
It tells, it's not, they like Farm.
Okay.
Farm is the brand. And if you want to shorten it, you say talk and do, because my credibility in whatever I say I want to do is done. Now, the Yendi that I inherited as a member of parliament from 2021, Yendi now, Yendi inner roads, hospitals, schools, delivery system, enter into Yendi. The new Yendi city is a reality. And inshallah, on the 24th of February, it's a continuation of a reward by delegates and the good people of Yendi. Having been a most visible MP in the North region, the research always shows that I'm visible, I'm in touch with my people. I make sure that the representation that I was sent to represent my people in the August House in the plenary has been achieved. So therefore, there's no need to change a winning horse. Even my good friend who I beat 16,000 votes, how do they call it? What's his name? Jofa. They have brought him back. Lawyer. And Dagombe say, the person that you have beaten, you always beat him. So inshallah, 2024, I'll be the parliamentary candidate for Yendi and onward to a victory. And this time it's going to be 20,000 votes.
You know what I'll do?
With the support of the constituency executives, my chairman, the police station executives, the constituency coordinators, and all and sundry. And I'm sending my regards to the good people of Yendi and to tell them that their son is always there.
You haven't greeted the Yana yet.
The Yana is the overlord. Yeah. I'll do that after this.
Greet the Yana in
the Yana. Assalamu alaikum.
You know what I'll do? Yes. I'll come and look at the new Yendi you have built before 2020.
Yes, the roads.
Before February 24.
The roads and all we have done, infrastructure, the emergency centers, and all. Come and verify.
Okay.
Evidential.
Evidence-based.
Evidence-based.
That's Muhammad's
I'm not
slogan,
just speaking. That is Bavne's slogan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's Alhaji Farouk Mahama. He is member of parliament for Yendi, and he is 100% team DMB. That would be it for Eyewitness News tonight. My name is Umaru Sanda Amado. Production by Bevelyn London, Kobna Wilson, and Sami Wiafi. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Daniel Anyoriga Abogri, as well as Edwin Kwakofi. Eyewitness News is back on Monday at 17:30 GMT. Up next is Sports Panorama with the City sports team. Benjamin Nketia, Coach Nimli, and the team. They're all here ready to give you Donkomi and other things around the sporting world. Stay with us on 97.3 Citi FM Relevant Radio. Always do have a great weekend.